Millstone, Pennsylvania, looks like any small American town: brick storefronts, a high school football stadium, a sheriff who knows everyone by name. But beneath the surface, a string of crimes told a different story. At first, they seemed isolated. But each one peeled back another layer of a truth the town had been ignoring for years. One night in 2017, a masked man held up Millstone Pharmacy with nothing more than a kitchen knife. He didn't take cash. He demanded OxyContin. The sheriff called it a desperate act by a drug addict. But when the robber was caught, it turned out he was a father of two, formerly employed at the local steel plant before it shut down. He wasn't selling pills for profit. He was feeding his wife's addiction, a habit she developed after being prescribed opioids for a workplace injury at that same steel plant. Deeper truth: the robbery wasn't about crime, it was about the opioid crisis, fueled by corporate negligence and ignored by regulators. Months later, the town's volunteer fire department reported $80,000 missing from its accounts. The treasurer, a church-going grandmother, was arrested for embezzlement. But in court, she broke down. The money hadn't gone to luxury. It had gone to her son's medical bills. He was uninsured after being laid off, and his cancer treatments left her drowning in debt. Deeper truth: the theft wasn't greed, it was the price of a healthcare system that abandoned the working poor. A violent fight broke out at Millstone Motel between two men. Locals dismissed it as a drunken brawl. But one of the men later confessed he was a whistleblower, beaten for trying to expose how the motel's owner trafficked undocumented workers, forcing them to clean rooms for less than minimum wage and threatening them with deportation. Deeper truth: the assault wasn't random, it was a cover-up of labor exploitation hiding in plain sight. Finally, in 2019, a 19-year-old high school athlete died of a fentanyl overdose. His parents thought he had bought a fake pill on the street. But investigators later tied the drugs back to a local doctor, one who had been overprescribing opioids for years, protected by political donations to county officials. Deeper truth: his death wasn't an accident, it was the product of an entire system looking away while profits rolled in. By 2020, the crimes seemed connected: robbery, theft, assault, overdose. They weren't just individual tragedies. They were symptoms of deeper rot. Economic collapse from the steel plant's closure. Healthcare costs that drove people into desperation. Exploitation of workers in the shadows of the town. Institutional corruption that let the crisis spread. Millstone's crimes weren't random acts of lawlessness. They were the town's own buried truths, forced to the surface. Today, Millstone still looks quiet from the outside. But the locals know better. Every crime scene tape, every arrest report, is a reminder: in America's forgotten towns, crime is rarely just crime. It is a mirror. And what it reflects is often harder to face than the violence itself.